Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Native Echo Podcast, where we make English simple and enjoyable. I'm Harper, and hello to all of our wonderful listeners wherever you are in the world right now. Welcome back. This is episode 9, and I am really glad you are here. Before we start, I just want to say something. If you have been listening since episode 1, thank you, genuinely. I notice the comments, I notice the messages, and it means a lot to know that you are coming back every time. And if this is your very first episode, welcome. You picked a good one to start with, I promise. Okay, so today we are talking about two expressions that I use almost every single day without even thinking about it. And when I started paying attention to how often I say them, I was actually surprised. The first one is, I can't believe. And the second one is, I'm afraid that. Now, at first, those two might not seem connected. One sounds dramatic, one sounds serious. But today, you're going to hear exactly how native speakers use them in real conversations, in everyday moments, in emails, in arguments, in surprises, in apologies. By the end of this episode, I want these to feel completely natural to you, not like expressions you memorized from a textbook, but like things you actually want to say, because they are useful, really useful. Let me start with a story. A few weeks ago, I was meeting a friend for lunch. We had planned it for a whole week. I had actually been looking forward to it because we had not seen each other in a long time. I got ready, I left early, I found the restaurant, I sat down, I ordered water, I waited, I checked my phone, I waited a little more, and then my phone buzzed. It was her. She sent me a message and it said, I am so sorry, I completely forgot. I am at the gym right now. I just sat there looking at my phone. And the first thing I said out loud to no one, because I was alone at a table in a restaurant, was, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And that is where we begin. I can't believe is one of those expressions that English speakers use when something surprises them. But here is the thing. It is not always negative surprise. It is not always about being upset or angry. That is a mistake a lot of learners make. They hear, I can't believe, and they think it is only for bad things. But actually, you can use it for good things too, for happy moments, for funny moments, for things that feel almost too big or too beautiful or too strange to be real. Let me show you both sides. Negative surprise first. My friend forgot our lunch. I was disappointed. So I said, I can't believe she forgot. That is an annoyed, frustrated version. I can't believe you did that. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe they canceled it at the last minute. All of these are reactions to something that went wrong, something unexpected in a bad way. But now listen to this. Imagine your favorite band just announced a concert in your city. You are screaming at your phone. I can't believe they are coming here. I can't believe this is actually real. That is excitement. That is happy shock. Or imagine you finally finished something really difficult. Maybe you passed a hard exam. Maybe you finished a big project. And someone says to you, you did it. And you just whisper to yourself, I can't believe I actually did it. That is pride. That is disbelief in the best way. So I can't believe is really a reaction to anything that breaks your expectation, good or bad, shocking or wonderful. The emotion behind it changes, but the structure stays the same. I can't believe plus what happened. I can't believe it snowed in April. I can't believe they gave me the job. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe how beautiful this place is. I can't believe how fast the year went. That last one. I can't believe how fast the year went. I say that one a lot, especially at the end of a month. I look at the calendar and think, wait, it is already the end of April? I can't believe how fast this month went. Do you ever feel that way? Like time is just moving at a speed that your brain cannot process? Actually, let me ask you something. Think of the last time you used surprise in your language. That moment when something happened and your brain could not catch up to reality for a second, That feeling, that gap between what you expected and what actually happened, that is exactly when a native speaker would say, I can't believe. So when you feel that gap, try saying it, even in a small situation, even if you are alone. I can't believe it is already that time. I can't believe how good this food is. I can't believe I forgot my umbrella again. Train your mouth to say it so that when the real moment comes, it comes out naturally. Now, let me tell you something else about I can't believe. It has a softer, more gentle cousin, and that cousin is I can't believe it, used as a standalone phrase. Just those four words. I can't believe it. You can say it quietly when you are in shock. You can say it slowly when you are emotional. You can say it loudly when you are excited. The words are the same. The feeling behind them does all the work. I heard once that an actor won an award he did not expect at all. And when they called his name and he walked up to the stage, he just stood there for a moment and said, very quietly, I can't believe it. And that was more powerful than any long speech, because everyone in the room understood exactly what he felt. That is what a good phrase does. It carries a lot of emotion in just a few words. All right, let me also show you some common mistakes so you can avoid them. One mistake is saying I cannot believe instead of I can't believe. Now, technically, both are correct English. But in spoken natural English, especially in emotional moments, we almost always use the contraction. I can't believe. The contracted version sounds more spontaneous, more real. When you write it in a formal letter, sure, you can write, I cannot believe. But when you are reacting to something in real life, it is always, I can't believe. Make sure your mouth gets comfortable saying that. Another mistake is forgetting the structure after it. Some learners say, I can't believe this situation has happened. No, the structure after I can't believe usually follows normal sentence rules. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe it is raining. I can't believe she said that to him. Just a regular sentence after it. Simple, clean. One more thing before we move on. You can also use I can't believe to express that something was really impressive in a polite, warm way. Like if a friend cooked a meal for you and it was delicious, you could say, I can't believe you made this yourself. That is a compliment. It means this is so good, it almost does not feel real. So, I can't believe can also be a way of praising someone. Keep that in mind. Okay, now let us talk about our second expression. I'm afraid that. And this one is interesting because it sounds serious, it sounds formal, but actually it is very common in everyday English too, not just in offices or professional situations. You can use it in casual conversation as well. So, first, what does it mean? I'm afraid that does not always mean you are scared. This is probably the most important thing to understand about this phrase. In English, afraid has two different uses. One is the emotion of fear. I am afraid of spiders. I am afraid of the dark. That is real fear, the feeling of being scared. But the second use is softer. It is a way of saying, I have some bad news. I'm afraid that is used to introduce something disappointing, something the other person might not want to hear. It is polite, it is gentle. It cushions the bad news a little. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are calling a restaurant to make a reservation, and the person on the phone says, I'm afraid that we are fully booked for Saturday evening. Are they scared of being fully booked? No. They are using I'm afraid that as a polite way to say, sorry, this is not the answer you wanted. It softens the disappointment. It makes the bad news feel a little less sharp. You see this all the time in professional situations, in emails, in customer service, in formal conversations, but also in everyday life. Your friend asks you to help them move apartments on Sunday, and you already have plans. You might say, I'm afraid that I can't make it on Sunday. I have something already planned. That is a kind, polite way to say no. It sounds softer than just saying, I can't come. I'm afraid that adds a little warmth. It tells the other person that you are a little sorry, that you wish you could help, that you understand it is disappointing. I'm afraid that plus the disappointing information, I'm afraid that the ticket is no longer available. I'm afraid that we cannot process your request today. I'm afraid that she is not in the office right now. I'm afraid that I have some bad news. That last one. I'm afraid that I have some bad news. This one is important. It is what we call a preface, a warning. Before you deliver something difficult, you say this to prepare the other person. It gives them a half second to get ready. It shows that you are aware this is not easy to hear. It is one of those phrases that shows emotional intelligence in a language. And by the way, listeners, here is a question for you. Has someone ever said to you, I'm afraid that, in a conversation? Maybe in English, maybe in another language with a similar phrase. A moment when someone was about to deliver news and you could feel it coming before they even said the real thing? Tell me in the comments. I am always curious about these little moments in communication. Now, let me talk about a shorter version. Because in everyday spoken English, we often say just, I'm afraid, without the that. It works the same way. Can you stay late tonight? I'm afraid I can't. Is the meeting still happening? I'm afraid it has been canceled. Did they accept your application? I'm afraid not. That last one is interesting. I'm afraid not. This is how native speakers say no to something in a polite, soft way. Not just no, but I'm afraid not. It sounds much warmer, much more human. And on the other side, if someone asks something and the answer is a polite yes when they expected no, you might hear, I'm afraid so. Not exactly good news, but yes. Is it going to rain all weekend? I'm afraid so. Is the price going up again? I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so and I'm afraid not are two of the most useful little responses in natural English. They sound smooth, they sound native, and they're actually very easy to use once you know what they mean. So let me give you a quick picture of when to use each one. I'm afraid that when you have to say something disappointing. I'm afraid not when the answer is no, but you want to be gentle. I'm afraid so when the answer is yes, but it is not good news. Simple, clean, useful. Now, here is something I want you to notice. Both of our expressions today do something interesting. They both help the listener. They both carry the other person's feelings in mind. I can't believe shows that you are reacting to something, that you are present, that what happened actually registered in you. It is empathetic. It is real. I'm afraid that shows that you are aware your words might sting a little, that you care enough to soften them, that you are not just dropping information coldly. Both of these are expressions of emotional intelligence. They are not just grammar patterns, they are ways of connecting with other people. And honestly, that is one of the things I love most about learning any language. When you go past the rules and you start to understand why people say what they say, the feelings behind the words, that is when communication stops being hard work and starts being natural. Let me tell you another small story. A while back, I had to email a friend to cancel plans for the third time in a row, and I felt terrible about it. I opened the email and I just stared at the screen for a while because I did not know how to start. And then I wrote, I'm afraid that I have to cancel again this week. Something came up and I'm really sorry. I can't believe how many times this has happened. I know this is frustrating. And I sent it. And you know what she replied? She said, It is okay. I can't believe how busy you have been lately. Let's just plan something when things calm down. Two expressions, both in one exchange, both doing their job perfectly. I'm afraid that as a gentle delivery. I can't believe as a reaction. Together, they made a conversation feel warm even though we were both disappointed. That is real language, not textbook language. Real. Okay, let us talk a little about how to practice these. The best way to practice I can't believe is to start noticing your reactions. Every time something surprises you, either in a good way or a bad way, pause for 1 second and think, how would I say this in English? And try saying, I can't believe. You do not have to say it out loud. You can say it in your head. I can't believe it is already Monday. I can't believe how cold it got today. I can't believe this episode is so long. Well, that last one might be what you are thinking right now, and that is okay. I can't believe it either sometimes. The best way to practice I'm afraid that is to use it when you have to say no or deliver some disappointing information, even small things. If a friend asks if you watched something and you have not, instead of just saying no, try saying, I'm afraid I haven't gotten to it yet. It feels a little strange the first time, but after 3 or 4 times, it starts to feel natural. And here is a fun challenge. This week, try using each expression at least twice in a message, in a conversation, in your head when you are alone, just twice each, and notice how it feels. Notice if it feels foreign or if it starts to feel a little more like something you would actually say. Now, let me also talk about mixing these expressions with other natural phrases, because that is where things get really fluid. I can't believe pairs very well with actually. I can't believe it actually worked. I can't believe she actually apologized. That actually adds a layer of surprise, like even reality itself surprised you. It also pairs well with how. I can't believe how kind he was. I can't believe how quickly it went. I can't believe how good this coffee is. The how version is especially good for expressing admiration or wonder. It takes the expression from reaction to almost poetry. I'm afraid that pairs well with unfortunately. I'm afraid that, unfortunately, we cannot make an exception. That doubles the softness. It tells the other person, I really wish this were different. It also pairs well with I have to say or I have to tell you. I'm afraid I have to tell you something. That is a powerful combination. It is a slow, careful setup for something serious. When someone says that, you know what follows is important. And here is one more combination I use a lot. I'm afraid that plus but. I'm afraid that I can't come, but let me know how it goes. The but turns it around slightly. It shows you still care. You're not just delivering a no and walking away, you are staying in the conversation. These small combinations are what make a language feel alive. Okay, I want to do something a little different today. I want to read you a short scenario, like a little scene. And as I read it, I want you to listen for how the expressions fit naturally. Here we go. Two friends. They have been trying to meet for weeks. One of them, let's call her Claire, finally found a free Saturday. She texts the other one, whose name is Mia. Claire says, I finally have a free Saturday this week. Are you free? We have been planning this for so long. Mia replies, I'm afraid that I have a family thing on Saturday morning, but I could do the afternoon, maybe around 3? Claire says, Yes, 3 works. I can't believe we finally found a day that works for both of us. Mia says, I know. I can't believe it took this long, honestly. See you Saturday. That whole exchange, natural, warm, easy, two different expressions used 4 times. I'm afraid that for the gentle disappointment, I can't believe for the shared reaction, the relief, the humor. That is exactly how these live in real conversation. And now imagine having that conversation in English and feeling confident, feeling like the words are just there, ready when you need them. That is what this podcast is for. Not to give you a list of expressions to memorize, but to help you feel the expressions, understand the moments they belong to, and trust yourself to use them. Because here is something I believe. You are more ready than you think. Every learner I have ever talked to says the same thing. I am not good enough yet. I need to know more before I try. But the trying is how you learn. The using is how it sticks. The moment you say, I can't believe this to a native speaker, and they just nod and keep the conversation going because it sounded completely natural, that is the moment your English grows a level. And I'm afraid that I have to tell you, that moment is closer than you think. See what I did there? Okay, Let us do our recap now. This is the part where we go through the key things from today so your brain can lock them in. I can't believe. This is a reaction to something surprising. It works for good surprises and bad surprises. It shows that reality just broke your expectation for a second. I can't believe it snowed. I can't believe she said yes. I can't believe how beautiful this is. The contraction is important. Say, I can't believe, not I cannot believe in spoken English. I'm afraid that. This is a polite, gentle way to deliver disappointing news. It is not about being scared. It is about being kind. It softens the no. It cushions the bad news. I'm afraid that we are fully booked. I'm afraid I cannot make it. I'm afraid I have to cancel. I'm afraid not. A soft way to say no. I'm afraid so. A soft way to say yes when it is not good news. Using how after I can't believe makes it beautiful. I can't believe how much things have changed. I can't believe how kind you were. Using but after I'm afraid, that keeps the relationship warm. I'm afraid I can't come, but I hope it goes well. Both expressions show emotional intelligence. They are not just grammar. They are ways of connecting with the person in front of you. That is it for episode 9 of Native Echo Podcast. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope these two expressions feel a little more like yours now, a little less like something foreign, a little more like something you might actually reach for the next time you need them. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Native Echo Podcast and give it a like. It really does help more people find the show. And if you know someone who is learning English and looking for something warm and real and low key, share this with them. Maybe they need to hear this today. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what is one situation from your life where you could use I can't believe? Just one sentence. It does not have to be perfect. Even one line is great practice. Write it down. Let me read it. Let me see how you are doing. I'll be back very soon with episode 10, and I can't believe we are already at 10. Honestly, where did the time go? Take care of yourselves, keep listening, keep practicing, and remember, every episode you finish is a step forward, even a small one. I'm Harper. This was Native Echo Podcast. See you next time. Bye.